Okay, so I'm so excited once again to have everyone. To those just joining us, please do well to send in your name, what you do, your expectations for this program, and the links to your social media handles. We want to connect with you. So this program is brought to you by Bincom Dev Center, and Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location technology talent development solutions platform. So we have our locations first virtually near you, so we are close to you than you can imagine. We also have our location in Yaba, Lagos State. We have a location in Ibadan, or your state. We also have in Kano State, Kaduna State, Ogun State, Delta State, United Kingdom, and we have plans to expand to as many locations as possible. These are some of the services Bincom offers. We have Bincom Academy, and Bincom Academy utilizes the Montessori approach in training participants in basic skills needed for the modern technology ecosystem. We also have Bincom Tech Internship, which is designed to enable people at intermediate skill levels gain mastery and expertise over a period of time. We also have our Bincom Tech Apprenticeship, which is an industrial attachment at various skill levels to gain experience and on-the-job training. Bincom community events and projects, just like the one we have currently, the ICT Career Talk, is geared at giving back to the community and building the tech ecosystem. We focus on informing and exposing the youth to the current technology trends and how to prepare for the future in technology. We have a Bincom Light Space, which provides helpful workspace intended to encourage collaboration and drive innovation in the startup ecosystem. We have spaces that is created and designed for various events like webinars, conferences, and get-together. We have our Bincom Global Tech Program, which is your solution to launch your tech career globally. It is a 1 to 2 years program focused on three key pillars: learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. So it's one thing gaining a skill, it's also another thing gaining experience and also getting exposure. Our Global Tech Program is that one package you don't want to miss out on. We have our Emigrate Tech Visa, which helps you become globally attractive, helps you get a tech profile and a tech-enabled business, and it is your tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement in countries like UK, USA, Canada, France, and many more. Bincom Mentoring Platform is a structured mentoring solution to help mentors add values to mentees for the purpose of building globally attractive techies. We have our Labs by Bincom. It is a 3 to 6 month pre-incubator program that brings together participants to build a digital technology product which will be used by real-life users. And then we have our Bincom Tech Career Coaching, which helps individuals to land their next role faster by offering a combination of coaching, relevance on the job experience, career references, introduction to tech recruiters, hands holding through application and interview process, and much more. If you're interested in any of these services Bincom offers, please do well to watch the chat. We'll be sharing relevant links for you so you can show interest in any of the services you would like to take on. Welcome once again to the ICT Career Talk. I am really excited to have each and every one of you join this session. So, like I said earlier, please do well to send in your name, what you do, your expectations for this program, and the links to your social media handles. We want to connect with you as much as we can. So please do well to send in your name, what you do, your expectations for this program, and the links to your social media handles. My name is Joy Nkanu, and I'll be your host for this ICT Career Talk. I am really, really excited to have all of you join us today. So it's the ICT Career Talk, and we have our theme as leveraging on AI to boost your tech career. And I'm sure you might be wondering, what is this? I mean, everyone has been talking about AI, AI, AI. It's the trend. I mean, if you do not even know how to use most of the AI tools available, it seems like you're left out or you're lost in so many, in a big ocean, right? So, just to play around a little bit, let's see. I know most of you might be familiar already with the whole AI trend. I would like someone to give us a little like an icebreaker into the whole AI. What is AI? What's AI doing for you? Do you think it is taking our jobs, or do you think that we can leverage on it so much that it's going to impact in our lives, in our careers, and literally everything we do? So anyone, you can just raise your hand and I'll call you to speak, or you can use the chat if you want to. Hendrix, would you like to give us a little insight on what AI is?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hendrix Obukome. AI is, as we all know, is a short form for artificial intelligence, using um, uh, the code base to make things easier for us. Leveraging on it's a machine actually that makes activities easier for us, basically. Yeah.
That's a very good one. Thank you so much for that. As we all know, it's called artificial intelligence, and we know it refers to more of the simulation of human intelligence in machines or computer systems. It also involves the development of algorithms and computer programs that enables machines to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. AI can be categorized into different or several subfields, which include machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, expert system, reinforcement learning, etc. And you can have AI in as many industry, many sectors as possible, not just in tech. So the question now is it taking our jobs? Would you want to leverage on AI to boost your tech career? We have amazing speakers with us, and trust me, they are here to share insightful, impactful message, or give us something to know, advices on how we can leverage on AI to boost our tech career. So right now, you don't want to miss this. I'm sure you should get your pen, papers, everything you need to jot down key points or key takeaways that will be helpful to you. So please do well to get your pen and paper, as I will be calling our first speaker right away. So today, our first speaker is Mr. Peter Ayeni. And Mr. Peter is a very, very dynamic and committed individual who is also leveraging technology and innovation for the greater social good. He's a proud father of Fuel My Hustle and currently serves as a senior software engineer at Netacy in Manchester, UK. So together, please, we have our emojis and reactions here on this Zoom platform. Please, I would love that you use them as we put a round of applause for our very first speaker for today's session. Mr. Peter, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, for today's conversation, I did not have a, I don't have a slide. So I want to make it an engagement actually, so that we can actually talk. And I'm not an AI. actually, a real human being. So that's the reason why I'm showing your face, so that you can all see me. And then, can you guys see me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm saying the. Can we just like paint the video? Okay. See. Okay. Can you, everyone mute, please? All right. So if you're excited here, just say hi, chat, so that I can know, I can see the excitement. It's like everyone is like, it's cold here. It's cold where you are also. Like everyone is so cold and chill. Can I get all the eyes, eyes, eyes? I'm just seeing one eye. Like, what's happening? We are young people, right? Let's have that reaction so we could see. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, great. Great. Let's have this reaction coming in. So that is the proof I would know that we are not AIs here. We humans. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's really great. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about leveraging AI. But at the same time, you know, it would be disservice if I've just talked about how we can leverage AI. And if you look at the word leverage actually means that you are using
Can
something.
you put water inside?
Okay, yeah. So leveraging actually means, that word means that, well, you already have something and then you're taking advantage of something else to be able to make that thing even better. So, and I'll tell you the truth, over the years, you know, there's a lot of fear and technology comes and goes. There is always trend. If you have been in the technology space for a while, you know that some few years back, let's say 5 years ago, 5 years, 10 years ago, not 10 years, let's say 5 to be moderate. Everything that was involved was like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. And everybody is learning Bitcoin. Like everyone, like if you don't learn Bitcoin at that time, it will feel like you are being left behind. So, and today also, something happened in Bitcoin space and the market went down. And during that period, a lot of people also have been working on artificial intelligence for like 10 years. But then with the launch of ChatGPT, everything changed. And then there's this new frenzy of AI. So everyone is adding AI to everything. Even right now on this Zoom call, you can see a AI companion there that a lot of people are using. And so what I'm trying to say here is this: leveraging is great, but you need to have something to leverage on. Let me repeat myself. Leveraging AI is amazing, but you need to have something that AI can use and combine it with the leverage you want to get. Like for instance, there is no way people can use AI to do a lot of tasks. For instance, people do generative AI, for instance, to write me a letter, write me an article, write me this, do this for me. And then we have the area of designs also. People use Midjourney to generate some design stuff and everything. But the difference is this: I have seen the trend of people who can use AI to do a lot of tasks. But people who are actually doing more and actually making their work better are actually professionals in that field who are then leveraging AI to make their work better. Let me give you an example. If you are going to prompt Midjourney to do a particular kind of art for you, if you are not a natural artist, it will be very hard for you. Can do some random prompting. Say, AI, give me a rose in a park, and then just generate it. That's it. But you see people creating some mind-blowing stuff that is really amazing. And these people are just artists. They have been artists even before AI comes. And then leveraging that AI they are able to do amazing things with that AI. For instance, ChatGPT can write codes for you. And if you don't know anything about coding, you've not been to a coding school, you've not even have any one day, maybe you've not learned anything about it, you don't understand what you're doing, and then you tell ChatGPT, generate a fintech app for me, and then ChatGPT, is like AI, is a computer. It's just like, okay, I will generate all of this bunch of codes and stuff like that. But now, when you get all of this code from ChatGPT, how do you put them together? To be able to build that app you want to build, to be able to build that website you want to build, to be able to even host that website on the platform that you want to host it on. And it's not just about that. So also, you want to maintain that code, you want to host it, you want to scale it up when you get more users. So all of this knowledge are traditional knowledge that you need to have. So why am I blabbing with all of this? What I'm saying is this: for you to leverage AI, you need to have, there is this adage that said that my pot already have some water in it before the rain comes. For instance, like when we have different houses and everyone needs to get water from the rain, you understand? And someone comes, everybody bring their bucket out, nothing is inside. And then someone comes with the bucket, it's half full. And then the rain just falls for an hour and then it stops. So after the rain stops, what's going to happen is that all of the people that bring out the empty bucket, they will not have a full bucket anyway. But someone that brings half full buckets with the new rain that comes into it, then it will be full. So the idea of that adage is that it's always good to have the fundamentals nailed down. Technology will always come and go. And I don't want to come here today to just like sweet mouth you about how AI is going to solve all of our problems. I'm going to talk about that also. But it's very important, I should let you know that you will be more secured in this AI era when you understand your fundamentals. What do I mean? If you want to use AI for photography, if you learn fundamentals of photography, you will use AI better. If you are a photographer, you will use AI better. If you are a software engineer and you are a very good software engineer, there are a lot of repetitive tasks we do in software engineering all the time. Like for instance, one of the things I use AI for at work on a daily basis is widgets. Like if I want to make a selection of a strings and I want to write some complicated widgets, I don't need to be thinking about it. Like how we write all of this. It's like Arabic, like it's very difficult to write, right? So instead of me doing that, I could just tell ChatGPT that when you have this string, I want to select this particular substrings in this string. Can you write me a widget that can do that? And that can do that every time for any kind of strings passed into this function. That is the kind of task that it could take me a while to go out a widget to do that. And ChatGPT can do that for me. It's so sweet. And then I can plug that into my code and continue working. You understand? So it's not like I'm going to sit with ChatGPT every time. Like, okay, I want to write a function for this, right? I want to write this. Like, at the end of the day, you won't actually get any work done. So you want to use AI to be able to do some of the difficult things or things that are like nuances that you don't need to be doing all the time. So what I'm trying to say is this: whatever you want to use AI to do, make sure that you have the fundamentals of that thing. And another thing is this, and that is one of the reasons why your job also is going to be secure. I told a lot of people that AI is here to stay. Nothing's going to change it. The work dynamics is going to change. Organizations and companies are going to need more people to get things done. You understand? Like for instance, like if in the team we have 20 engineers, you understand, and if I introduce AI into the organization, maybe they are using Copilot or any other AI tools. So now the job of those 20 people can be like fast tracked with AI. So that means that 10 people can actually, with the help of AI, can do the job of 20 people. So a lot of organizations will want to adjust. So definitely. So what is going to set you apart so that you are not part of those shopping block, is that you actually understand your fundamentals. So when you know your fundamentals, that's one. And number two, you are real human beings and you can actually take initiative. One of the things I tell a lot of people is this: AI currently can't take initiatives because ChatGPT on your computer or on your phone is just sitting down there. It's not basically doing anything. So ChatGPT is not going to think like, oh, Peter, your grocery is running out. You should go get some grocery. No. ChatGPT is not going to say that there's this idea that I have about the project or how your company can make 10 times X of this better. No. ChatGPT is sitting on your computer, and whatever AI we have are sitting there on our computer doing nothing. So when you are a part of a team, are you just sitting there like an AI doing nothing? Or you're just like waiting for them to instruct you? Peter, do this. Or say, Wisdom, do this. Or like, Patrick, you have to do this one. You have to do this one. Or we have to improve this. So it's time for people who are taking initiatives and they are going to be rewarded for it. So the only way you can compete in the AI time is for you to be someone that takes initiatives. You understand? You don't want to sit down there and just wait for things to happen in your organization. Because if you are like a prompt, I have to prompt you to do everything. So you're mostly like ChatGPT. So I could use ChatGPT to replace you and then ask ChatGPT for those things. But when you are in a team and you're like, oh, I saw that this particular design that we have, there is a way we can make it 10 times better and they can convert things more. And then the organization is like, oh, this person is resourceful. He's taking initiative. You know, it's is doing more than just sitting down there to do stuff. So the world today is not just for software engineers who know how to code. I used to tell people, coding is 10% of the job. You know, I remember a long time ago when Andela just started, and Andela was very good. But one of the people that break up the icebreaker of giving organizations job abroad. So, and they have a problem, and the problem is that when they feed people and to organizations, a lot of Nigerians find it hard. Or software engineers, they are very good. They can code a lot. You understand, but they don't understand communication, and they don't even understand how to take initiative, which a lot of organizations want. So, and I know that that's some of the things that this organization is doing differently to be able to prepare you guys to be able to have all of those skills. And I know very well that Bincom are going to do better than that. So it's not just about the coding skill, because a lot of people are just like, I can code, I can solve algorithm. They are very nice, they are very good things. You understand? But then, can you relate with people as human beings? Can you communicate with people as human beings? You know, can you take initiatives? Can you solve problems differently? You know, when they give you something to do, 10%, can you go over 40%? Can you deliver more? You know, even when you do your 100%, can you do 110% sometimes? And those are the things that you can do that is going to give you leverage in this AI season that we have. So I don't want to talk so much because I want to leave some rooms for conversation and interaction and question, which I think that is where we are going to have a lot of opportunity to learn and ask questions. So learning this foundation of what I said about you honing your skills properly, you know, knowing your foundation, because all of these things are going to help you to be able to ask the right questions. For instance, if I'm coding and I run into a bug, I know exactly what I want. I know the problem I'm facing. I could add ChatGPT to solve that problem for me much more easily. If you're someone that don't even understand what the error code is saying, you battle with ChatGPT also. So that's why I'm saying, for you to take advantage of AI, you need to be able to nail your foundation, learn the skills that you needed, and that is why Bincom is here to be able to help you to do that, right? And then learn communication skills, learn how to take initiatives, learn how to solve problems. You know, all these things are very, very important because technology comes and goes. We are in AI-friendly time. I'm telling you, it's going to go, and then there will be things. Quantum computing is coming. And when quantum computing arrives, AI will be like a joke to us. I'm telling you, because it will be ridiculously insane. It will be a new, different kind of stuff. So technology always changes quickly. And what will make you to be relevant all the time is what I'm just telling you right now. That's what is going to make it. Either, like for me, I've passed through a lot of technical space. I'm telling you, I've been in the tech space for more than 20 years now. I've seen rise and fall of different technologies, programming languages, stuff, and I'm still here, still doing it. You understand? Because of what I've seen, so many people have fall out of the way. So many people have left off the train. Some people have even stopped doing tech. Some people are even rusty. Some people are even like stuck with one programming language since 10 years ago. So what have helped me to be able to stay relevant at every time, AI or no AI, is the ability to evolve. And then when you nail all your fundamentals, all your own, you are always learning your skills, and then you can then effectively take advantage of the technology that is available. Like if I want to learn Bitcoin technology right now, it don't take me seconds to learn, because all of the technology and frameworks that we need to learn it, I already have the foundation. I can learn anything. And that's where the foundation is. So if you miss that foundational knowledge of problem solving, learning new skills, and stuff like that, then it will be very difficult for you to compete with people that actually have this foundational knowledge. And those people will always be on the edge of the technological change. You understand? So yeah. So and the other thing that I would say to cap this up is that AI is not something we should be afraid of. AI is something that we should embrace. I tell people, just like, when the internet came in 2000, that is the era of internet, a lot of people were scared about the internet. They feel like it's going to be the end of the world. It's the truth of the Antichrist. A lot of people, churches were not even using it. A lot of organizations were against it. You understand? But after some time, we started to see the benefit of internet and everything. And a lot of people embrace it. The people that took advantage of internet on the early days, a lot of them are making a lot of money right now. Look at Google since 95, people have been around. Yahoo, even though they're not doing very well now, they still making a lot of people each time. So, and that's the power of it. When Bitcoin came also, those that the early adopters also, the able to like especially with targeted influence, max out how many hundreds of millions of users within 24 hours. That is the power of how being on the cutting edge can help you. And being on the cutting edge just means that you know the Lego bricks of creating innovation. You understand? Because if you know the Lego bricks, everything I created ChatGPT is still the fundamentals of computer science. You understand that a lot of people have been researching on running just the if else Python and whatever, but then putting those technology into use in the different ways. And if you know how to do those foundations, you can build absolutely anything. Yeah. So I think that's where I'm going to stop for any questions. So I believe that I'll be able to give you more impact if I can do individual questions, and then I can answer that in a way that.
Okay, sir. So I think immediately after the second speaker finishes, we'll tailor all the questions. So we'll be calling on our second speaker shortly. But let's just take a little bit or some key takeaways from our very first speaker. He made mention of learning the basics. AI is vast. There are different areas you want to explore. So it's necessary that you have the fundamentals. AI generally is transforming. It's more of a transformative force that can significantly boost your tech career if you harness it properly. So first, master the fundamentals, develop skills around AI. You might want to take courses and get hands-on experience, participate in hackathons, and the rest. These are some of the things that can help you leverage on AI to really boost your tech career. So we'll be calling on our second speaker right away, and trust me, this is going to be another impactful session. So if you're not with your pen. If you're not taking notes, I don't know what you're doing, but please take on your pen and your papers because we'll be learning a lot today. So our second speaker is Mr. Bade, and Mr. Bade is also another amazing person, and you can see his profile already on my screen, so I'll just read it again. Mr. Bade is a Nigerian technology entrepreneur. He is also an investor and a business leader. He is the co-founder and chief technology officer of Social Lender, a financial technology that enables users to get access to financial services based on their social reputation. Mr. Bado is also a partner at Bincom, a leading information communication technology, consulting and solutions company in Nigeria. He has over 20 years of experience in the tech industry with expertise in software and best use of technology. Mr. Bade is a highly respected thought leader in the African tech ecosystem. He is a frequent speaker at industry events and has been featured in numerous publications. He is also a mentor to many young entrepreneurs and startups. So please, let's use the reactions as we give a round of applause for our second speaker, Mr. Bade. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much, Joy. And hello, everyone. Thank you for having me at this session and at this edition of Bincom ICT Career Talk. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't have a presentation slide as well. I'm just like Peter just before me. I'm just going to wet the ground, and I'm hoping that we can have a conversation rather than just the part I'm going to be talking about. And also, my talk is not going to be tactical in nature. My talk is going to be more strategic in nature, and I will explain. The truth is, if you go on Google to say, what tool can I use for my own specific knowledge track, a bunch of articles will come up. Read one, read two, read three of them. You will know about ChatGPT, you will know about AI that Canva is using at the moment, and so on. So rather than focusing on specific tools, you would know about things like for a programmer, co-pilots, and so on. Rather than focusing on specific tool, what I thought would work best is to focus on the strategic bit of things. It will be a bit high level, but I feel like it may be more useful to the audience. But I'm hoping that we would have a conversation, and that conversation would help us to also bring the topic home. The topic is leveraging on AI to boost your tech career. And first of all, maybe we should talk about boosting your tech career, and then we talk about leveraging AI, which is the key part of the topic. Tech careers in general, there are 4 key ways in which, if we're talking about boosting your tech career or in terms of a career outcome, key places where people are generally trying to go. One of them is you want to be a highly respected industry leader in your field, meaning that you're the best Python programmer in the world, right? And then many organizations are able to look up to you for solutions to problems that others may not be able to deal with. So you're able to work within enterprise or startups as well. We are able to work within the industry, bringing your skill into that industry as a professional. You could also be a startup founder. So you could have an idea to say, oh, fine, I have an idea that I think will change the world, and I want to build on that idea, right? About 9 out of every 10 startups fail, but the point of it is the fact that you may be able to take that risk, and who knows, you may be the one building the next Uber or the next Facebook or the next Instagram or the next whatever it is. And so startup founding a startup is also an interesting place to go as a techie, generally speaking. You could also say you want to work as a freelancer, you want to work as a digital nomad, you want to work in a situation where you're bringing your skill into specific organizations and bringing that skill for a lot of times for a short period of time, but sometimes for a much longer period of time. And so you could also be a contractor for different organizations, working remotely, working in your local ecosystem, and so on. Regardless of any one of these that you may be looking at, or you may be looking at a combination of them. Now, I'm saying regardless of the knowledge track that you are on, regardless of what your field of expertise, what your skill sets are, right? Those are some of the ways in which you can move to the next level in your career. Now, regardless of any one of these, there are a few things that you should be aware of. And one of them is the fact that you need to be strategic about how you are taking the journey of building your career. Something I say to people is that you are the only person responsible for your career growth. Yes, different people may be able to help. You may have mentors, you may have coaches, you may have organizations with robust HR policies, you may have all of those things to be able to help. But ultimately, you are responsible for your career, right? I know I'm speaking with adults in the room, and that is always true. So you need to be strategic. You need to look at the field. You need to look at where are things going? Where do I think this industry is going? And one of the popular conversation that comes up is the question of, oh, is AI going to take our jobs? Right. The answer is yes, AI will take your jobs, but new jobs will be created. The question is, are you going to be fit for those new jobs that will be created? Right? Jobs will go, so jobs will be created. Why do I say so? Because if you were in the 80s, you probably, well, I was born in the 80s, right? And one of the things we had to learn in school was how to type on typewriters, ASDF, column, LKJ, space. And then you had to type that so many times because it was required for you to start learning typing. Not because you needed to be able to type really, because most professionals would have something called a secretary or a typist. A lot of organizations had typist pool as part of what they had in their system. It was needed because they realized that they didn't want this business executive to spend time typing. Instead, you can just write the memo you want in shorthand and so on. That's something else that is no longer available. And then you can pass it on to somebody else who will type for you. That changed with the advent of computers. That changed with the advent of the fact that everybody now could have access to a personal computer. Many of these has changed over time as well. There was the generation where, and this is a generation I came out of, right? So I know that there are people that are older than me that would remember other things, but this is my own generation I'm talking about. There's a generation where internet was not democratized. And so if you wanted to work, for me, one of the things I had to do was you had to go to a cyber cafe overnight, right? For you to be able to learn or work on a website or whatever it is that you're trying to do, because it was cheaper to do night browsing, basically. Some of us don't know what this is about, but that was the generation, right? I grew up in Nigeria. Now, all of that has changed. We are now in a world where we all have access to solutions. We all have access to software. We all have access to the different things that you would need to build your career. I was going to talk about one more, which is the fact that even knowledge was scarce because you had to pay for it. You had to go to Ikeja and get somebody to give you a CD that had a bunch of things that had been downloaded by somebody else. We have things like Wikipedia now. We have things like a lot of learning courses, Coursera, Udemy, and all of those kind of things. They didn't exist. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that during that generation, people were able to thrive. Was it everybody? No. But people were able to thrive because they went the extra mile. And you were able to tell that, oh, this person is top 1, top 2, top 10, top 100, top 1,000, or in their field, because different people's results would show. We are now in a generation where many of these things I've talked about are available to us without us stressing about it. At a click of a button, you get access to AI models that have been trained by billions of dollars. AI models have been trained and pre-trained. You can even download models into your phone at this point in time. So intelligence and knowledge, not intelligence, knowledge is democratized. That is the age that we live in. Now, I've gone through this description for a reason. I've gone through this description to help you see something, to help you see that this is not new. Change is not new. But where we are today is that there's a new type of change. And that type of change is that there is access to tools that many of us did not have access to 2 years ago. And ChatGPT is not the only AI model, but it's the one that sort of opened up the space, and then many people started paying attention. I work in a fintech where we had been training machine learning models and all of that for many years, even before AI has now become a common thing, social lender or social rep in the UK, that's what it's called. We are now, however, in the age where you don't need a PhD in data science. You don't need a R expert, Python expert, and all of those kind of things to be able to use the product of machine learning. Of course, you still need that expertise if you want to build on what exists. And we'll come to that in my talk as well. But you don't need that anymore today. You can just go to ChatGPT.com. You can go to several of these, Leonardo.ai and so on, Behance. There are several of them. And so I really didn't want to start talking about specific tools. I wanted to talk more around the strategy of what you should be doing as an expert and as somebody that wants to boost your career today in the field of technology particularly. All of these exist. Is now available almost free of charge. Some people still pay for some things, but almost free of charge. A lot of this is available. The question is, are you paying attention? Because your industry that you knew 2 years ago has changed, and it will keep changing. What is changing, I've said change multiple times, is how quickly things are now changing. The speed of change is now accelerating. And so you need to keep up. I've always said to people, and I've said this for many years now, that you are sentenced to learning all through your life if you choose to be in the field of technology. That is still true. It's just that now you need to be learning on a regular basis. You need to pay attention to what is coming out in your field, what will change how your field behaves or what people are doing in your fields today. Let me use infrastructure and DevOps for an example. Docker, containerization and all of that was not a thing 15 years ago. Even 10 years ago, it wasn't such a thing. I mean, it existed by then, but it wasn't a thing now. But then if you say you're an infrastructure, DevOps, SRE engineer, and you don't know about Docker or how to use Docker, then you are joking. Keeping it that simple. And it's the same thing with AI, and that brings me to the point of AI. Because in every one of your fields, for marketing, for example, there are new marketing tools that you can use. You no longer need to depend on some video editor to create you video, right? You don't even need to pay models anymore for you to get pictures, for example, because AI can generate images of people that look like people, but they are not actually people. Programming, and Peter talked about this also in his talk. You now have co-pilots. Maybe 3 years ago, the way you would figure out things, and Stack Overflow interestingly said their traffic has gone down, right? That's really interesting, because a few years ago, if you needed to solve something in programming, the way you would do it is that you would typically do a search, you go on Stack Overflow, you ask the question, or you find somebody else that had that issue before, and then they will help you solve it, and then you move on to the next thing. A lot of people would not even understand why it works. They just know that I've copied this code, it works, you paste it in, you move on to the next problem, and you go on like that. That world is changing. It has not changed fully, but it is changing, because now machine learning models, AI models have been trained on Stack Overflow, in all those solutions. And so they are able to churn out those solutions for you. And this is already integrated into most IDEs today. Not tomorrow, not it is coming, it is already here. The question is, as a programmer, do you know how to make the best use of it? Would you spend maybe an hour or 2 or 3 hours and so on, just to make sure, oh, I have kept up with what is the latest in my IDE, Visual Studio, whatever IDE it is you're using, it exists today, but do you know how to use it? Prompt engineering is something else you should be thinking about. And this is for people in the business side of technology, because if you needed to do a pitch deck today, put the prompt into various tools. There are several of them. And as I said, if you just go Google it, you will find many tools today. So I'm not going to speak about specific tools. Put a prompt in there, and what you will have spent maybe 2 weeks doing, it will generate a fantastic draft for you in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, right? The question is that, are you still in that position where you're still spending 2 weeks doing something that you can do in 10 minutes? Now, don't get me wrong. Will it be perfect? No, and Peter alluded to this as well. It will not be perfect. In fact, it may be riddled with errors, but you do know that it is easier for you to correct that than for you to create things from scratch. There are other issues along those lines, and I will come to that when I talk about the risk and some words of caution. Here's my points. Regardless of your industry, AI is here to stay. It's new technology. Think of it as a tool, and it's something that you should make the best use of. Spend time understanding how it impacts your industry. Also start building a trajectory curve to say, if it is like this as at this point, what would it impact in the future? Because maybe the role you are targeting in 5 years' time will no longer exist. A number of middle management roles will disappear. A number of beginner level roles will disappear. But then expertise roles will always stay, because people cannot trust AI. And even if you can trust AI 100%, somebody has to be held responsible for every decision, particularly critical ones. And that is where expertise will be required. So beginner level roles may reduce. Intermediate level role may reduce, not as much as beginner, but the expert level roles will still be there, particularly those that have brought up themselves to say adapted to the new level of change. And then that brings me to the whole idea of becoming globally attractive. Becoming globally attractive is something that we say within the Bincom Dev Center program, and it's something that is what the program is founded on, basically. And what I used, because it sort of brings it home for a lot of people, is the Technation visa, the UK Global Talent visa in the field of digital technology, also called Technation visa. Now, what it is that the UK government has basically put up a visa to say, if you can show that you're a leading talent or you're a promising talent in your field, we want you to move to our economy so that you can help us build our economy. Bring your talent, bring your skill, bring your innovation, bring your family, bring everything, because we believe that our economy will be better off if we let you move to our jurisdiction. That's why the visa exists. But why I bring it up is because they only want maybe the top 1, maybe the top 2 people. If you say that, oh, you're a product manager, they don't want just any product manager, because if they left the gate open, every single person would move to their economy. They want that top 1% or top 2%, top 3% in the field, which are basically those we would say are globally attractive, because they are not just attractive in the UK, they're attractive in every other jurisdiction. But this is also then changing, because that attraction, in terms of some of the things and index that we'll be looking at, AI would become part of it, part and parcel of it. They will not call it out as, oh, you need to know how to use AI in your field. But then the speed of delivery, how many pull requests you do for open source, how many solutions that you're able to deliver, how many fixes you're able to do, all of those things tie into this. And if you're not leveraging tools and somebody else is leveraging that same tool, guess who is going to come out tops? And that's why you need to pay attention now. That's why you need to spend time now to make sure that you are building and incorporating this new tool into your day-to-day life. It's not something that will go away. It's something that will get better. It's something that will get smarter. And because of that, your industry will change. The index for who is globally attractive in your own knowledge track will also change, because the outputs will be different with someone that uses a tool and someone that doesn't. Let's use a car, for example. Imagine somebody uses us to go from one place to the other, and somebody is using a Ferrari, no speed limit, to do the same thing. Who is going to get there faster? And that's the point around AI, and that's the point that I wanted to point out there. Now, with the Global Tech Program, there are 3 key pillars that we talk about: learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. Learning skills, and to a large extent, there's a lot of ways in which you can do that today, and AI can help with that. We ran an hackathon recently, and one of the winning product in that hackathon was talking about that, how you can break down a skill you want to learn, and you can use AI to break it down, and AI can track and all of those kind of things. But your industry today, you can use AI to determine what should I be learning. You can use AI to determine what are my gaps, what are the gaps within that industry, along those lines of learning skills. Gaining experience, I've talked a bit around those as well, because the experiences now, you want to be able to start showing how you're able to leverage these tools to do things faster, to do things better, to do things with the right quality and the right experience and all. And then gaining exposure, several suggestions, several ideas that you may not even know that existed. All of these you can leverage on AI to help you today. Within Bincom, we're building a tool called AutoJobServe to help people apply for roles, right? So in terms of applying for roles, one of the ways that you apply for roles would be apply for many roles, and then eventually you land one of them. Now, we're building a tool that is going to help people do that, because leveraging on AI as well, leveraging on AI in that tool, such that it's able to determine, oh, this role is best suited for you, this is not best suited for you, and it can automatically apply for people. So for those that have been on the other side of applying for roles, and you've applied for hundreds, maybe thousands of roles before you landed the one you landed, you will know that looking for a job is a job in itself, with incredible waste of time. You can leverage on AI to help with those as well. A few words of caution. I know my time is up. Word of caution one is that there are risks to using AI. And so please don't just send the robots, don't just send the technology on errand and just forget about it. You need to review. I was speaking last weekend around, and let me use that example again. It was about a lawyer that went to court. This is real life case. It made the news. That's why I know about it. It's somewhere in America. Went to court to go and defend a particular case, right? And so what he did was he went to an AI model to say, give me more cases that are similar to this that would defend my rights, right? And the way case law works is that if you go to court, you can say that because this case was judged positively, this other case was judged positively, this other case was judged positively, therefore my own case should be judged positively too. That's the way a part of law works and all. Now, this is what happened. Unfortunately, you only found out later. He went to present about 7 case laws to say, oh, because of this case, this case, this case, this case, this case. Turns out that 6 out of the 7 cases he presented were fake. Right. And he didn't know until he had gotten to court. Why? Because it depended on an AI model which generated fake data for him, and the person did not know, the person did not cross-check, and it turned out that this was wrong. You will find that a lot if you've used ChatGPT, even with a little bit of frequency, you will find out that it will generate information for you. It will fake it in some cases. You may not know if you are not knowledgeable around that topic. And so please ensure that you understand what is happening under the hood. So you are using the tool to help you work faster, not that you don't even know anything at all. You are blind to what it is that it's talking about. And then it gives you something because it's using the right jargons and technical jargons and all, you think it is correct. And then you find out that you are in a quagmire of some sort. You need to be careful along those lines. You should not over depend on it. You should ensure that you know what is happening under the hood. You need to be like that mechanic that can also drive, because you understand what is happening, how the engine works, how the wiper works, how everything works, and then you can also drive the car as well. Don't be that one that doesn't know anything about the car and you just say, oh, touch this and then you touch it, touch that one and then you touch it and all. That should not be your position. Your position should be a point where you are the expert, but you are making use of a tool to help you get better. And that is the strategy that I hope that you will be thinking about. And now, in terms of making use of a tool that helps you get better, there's a new field, and it's called prompt engineering. Please write it down, Google it, and understand it. It will become similar to how everyone needs to know how to use the internet, how everyone needs to know how to use email, how everyone needs to know how to use a phone, use WhatsApp, use all of those kind of things. Using AI will become like that in the future, if not that it's already like that today. But then in the use of AI, some would use it better than others. And the way that works today is a field called prompt engineering, right? And basically what prompt engineering is about is just figuring out to say, what's the best way to query this AI model for it to give me the best result possible, regardless of your industry, regardless of your knowledge track. This is something you should be learning. You may not be an expert in it, because I believe that it will become something that people go to school for, have degrees for, and so on. I'm not saying get to that level, right? Or get to the level where you are able to go under the hood of the AI model. You should be that. If you are in the ML data science space, you should understand how all these algorithms work, all these large language models. Basically, that's what they are. You should understand how they work if you're in that field. In Bincom Dev Center, that's our Python and data science knowledge track. You should understand that under the hood. But regardless of what field of technology you are, you need to start thinking around prompt engineering. Think of it how people know how to use Google search, right? Because back in the days, you could be almost like a ninja in Google search, knowing how to do stuff, because there are other things to do aside from just typing the prompt. If you use double quotation, it would help you do something. If you want to restrict to specific sites or specific language and so on, those are things that you should also start figuring out for your knowledge track. If you're a programmer, you need to do the same. However, for the IDEs that are in your knowledge track, the IDEs that you would use, start figuring out what are plugins I can activate today, even if you have to pay for them. What are those plugins I should start using that will make my life better, that will make my coding better, that will make my variable naming better, that will be able to detect things like even malicious issues with code. The word escapes me, but basically so that you don't output malicious software, because the world we are coming to is a world where when people do PR, they expect that all of those things, you have done them because you know how to use the right tools. My summary is this: AI is here to stay. You need to make the best use of it. What that means for your specific knowledge track may be different, and you can Google that. The key thing I hope that you take out of this is the fact that your knowledge track is changing. The role that you may be targeting in the next 5 years may no longer exist, or it may exist in a different way. The job description may include AI or whatever else it is. And it is up to you to make sure you are up to date, because your career is your responsibility. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that, sir. That was really an exciting session, and I'm sure we all learned a lot of things. He made mention that AI will take your jobs, but it will also create, and it is mandatory that you understand how it works and see how you can actually leverage and tap into that field on AI to boost your tech career. You can also use it to automate your tasks. You can use it for data analysis and insight, and also help make you make decisions properly. So AI would take your jobs, but it would also create opportunities. And the person who is also leveraging on AI would also help kick you out of your job. So please, you don't want to be left out. You want to be on top of your game. So it is necessary and mandatory that you up your game and keep learning, stay on your game, like basically keep learning as much as you can. So we'll be moving on to the Q&A session. So we're expecting a lot of questions from all of you. So if you want to unmute and ask your question, that's fine. If you want to use the chat, that's also very fine. So please do well to send in your questions. But before then, we have a few questions that we'll first like to go through. So I think the first question is, how can AI be used to enhance the efficiency of tech professionals, especially in their daily tasks? Because I mean, right now everyone is using AI. Do you think that they no longer use their human intelligence? I would leave that question to Mr. Bade.
Yeah, so in terms of specific tools, there are several that can be helpful. So ChatGPT is probably the one that everybody talks about the most at the moment, but there are several tools. I dropped a link in the chat and I will just read out some of the tools that is in that link. There are hundreds of them today because a lot of people have launched other tools to make life easier for you. There are plugins now for your browser that can make life easier and so on. So there's Scribe, for example, that you could use. And what Scribe does is that helps you with workflows. There's Agent GPT, that's the one I'm testing out at the moment. And Agent GPT, what that does is that it's able to do some repetitive tasks. You can get it to do those tasks for you. So if there's something you do every day or repetitively, right, you can use a tool like that to help you. There's something for trip planning. There's Gamma. There was one I was looking for. Yeah, Beautiful AI. There's Beautiful AI, which would help you develop presentations in seconds, right? And all you have to then do is that you have to then edit that presentation. So if your role has to do with making presentation, that's something that you may want to be able to use. And then if you need to build a website very quickly, though there is an issue with maintainability of the website, but if you need to build something like a simple single page website, right? Just informational and all, a landing page, for example, you could use something like durable.ai. There are a bunch of them really right now. So this isn't just the only one. There are issues with how to be able to maintain that because it won't go through pipelines and CI/CD and so on. But the point is that if you needed to create a website in 30 seconds, you can do that today. Several tools are available. So I hope I answered the question.
Yes. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I'll be moving on to Mr. Pina. And the question here is, how can help software engineers efficiently? Hi, Mr. Peter. Are
Oh,
you
sorry.
with us?
Yeah, what's the question again? I lost you for a second.
Okay, so the question is, how can AI-driven testing and quality assurance tools help software engineers identify and fix issues in their code more efficiently?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. So actually, I've not used an AI quality assurance tool before, but they are basically some kind of standards that organizations set their code base that actually help them to be able to, even before the advent of AI, to be able to catch some errors. Like, for instance, if you're a software engineer and you're using the kind of catch system in your code, so the essence of that is to be able to help you prevent known bugs that can actually contribute to your code. But definitely, I think there are a lot of AI-driven testing, quality assurance things right now that you can use, which are really amazing. And one thing about AI is this: if you are learning by yourself, maybe you're still learning, you're a beginner, building code, you're not hiring or building a company, and you use AI a lot. Yeah, good. But then what you should have at the back of every organization have their policy. For instance, in my company, we stopped using Zoom just because Zoom have just rolled out an AI that learn meeting. And because we are enterprise organization, we want our conversation to be part of that data. So we have to stop using it. So that is one thing you should be able to think about also, especially for software engineers. As much as these tools are great, a lot of organizations will not implement in their company day to day to work. So especially organizations that have intellectual property. So that's why you see that Microsoft, Facebook, all of them are building their own tools to use internally because they are protecting their own intellectual property, but also exposing this to take other people's data. So a lot of people, companies who are building cutting edge tech, will not use all of these AI tools. So don't rely on them too much. If you are building something for yourself personally or something, it's okay. But in your day-to-day work as a software engineer, working as an hardcore, even just like what Mr. Abadi said, you want to come to the UK to be able to impact technology and create content. Because UK is not bringing you here to come and use ChatGPT. They are bringing you here to build cutting edge things. So you have to be safe. Even though you can see AI to that, depending on the organization policy, some startup will allow it because they're just building products on top of other products, which is fine. But for like company like I work with like 3 organizations in the UK who are building cutting edge. There's a company I work for called Previsico. We build AI modeling models that predict flood around the UK and the world. So that kind of to put pilots, for instance, so that other people can copy and their codes. You understand? So yeah, so keep that at the back of the mind. So these tools are powerful, they are great. But remember, there's also industrial espionage, and the big guys are stealing data too. So a lot of people don't want to expose it. So,
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. It was very helpful. Okay, so Mr. Bade, there's a question here that says, how can professionals stay updated on the latest AI development to remain competitive in their careers?
Go for sessions like this one today. Google it also would be useful. Stay up to date with blogs and tech news and tech articles. Use solutions like product hunts, for example. So typically when people are launching products, they would go to things like product hunt and launch, and usually it will be free for a couple of months or maybe a year and so on. So you can pay attention to solution tools like that and industry tools. Social media also helps. One of the ones that helps me is social media, because a lot of times if I'm browsing on Instagram and all, it would suggest some tools. So I sent you an Instagram link. It was something that just came up yesterday that I found interesting to say, oh, interesting. These are 10 tools. And I found 2 of them that, I want to go try them out. And I'm going to try them out, right? And see how well it will help me. And then the ones that can help me, it becomes part of my arsenal. It becomes part of my toolbox. For those that won't help me, that's fine. I've tested it or I've tried it out. It doesn't help. Pay attention to social media policy and organizational policy. In some cases, some of your organizations will say you must use a certain tool. Yeah, try it out. Don't be resistant to change as well. So those are some examples of how. Subscribe to newsletters. This is important. Subscribe to newsletters. There are some newsletters that do exist where they curate for you to say, oh, these are things you should pay attention to. You don't have a time to read millions of news articles coming out on a daily basis, but they shortlist it for you to say, oh, yeah, these are some things that you should take a look at because they are trending or they may be trendy. Stay in touch with the community around your knowledge track, right? Whatever community there is on your knowledge track, whether open source or WhatsApp group or Slack community and so on. Because from time to time, people may discover stuff. They may say, oh, I'm trying out this tool. Do you want to try it? Or I'm building this tool. Do you want to try it? Or do you want to join me in building this? And that may also help as well. Many ways you can try. Just pay attention to staying up to date.
All right, thank you so much for that, sir. All right, so Mr. Peter, I would like to ask, do you advise, say, I know very well that you've also been involved in technical writing at some point too. So I like to ask if you advise someone who is starting out as a technical writer using AI to get their content or doing it based on their own normal intelligence. What do you advise?
Yeah, so AI is great in terms of like generating ideas. So I think you all use AI. It's like the analogy I gave at the beginning. If your cup is half full, AI can add that layer to make it professional. And one of the things I use AI to do is just very bad. You know, I know you follow me when you read like 5 of my posts, you see they are very bad constructed. So yeah, I don't care so much about it. But the things that with the advent of AI, it's better because I subscribe to Grammarly and other AIs too that actually help me check. And one thing is that I want to become a technical writer. I don't want to write things that put people off. Yes, some people are like they're just very meticulous about language and about grammar. So, like my wife is like a grammar police. Like she can't even read without like see something she just off. So you don't want to annoy the users. So use AI to like I have this app and just prompt AI. Can you talk to me as a dictionary editor? ChatGPT say, oh sure, let's do this. What do you want? And then I want you to help me edit any kind of grammatical error or any kind of little changes without changing the context. Because when you give AI context, sometimes it just write everything like and it lost the thing. You understand? So just like somebody said, that prompt engineering is important. But now you can get the best out of your AI. So if you're a technical writer, you don't want your idea to be lost from what AI is going to give to you. You understand? So use AI sparingly. Like give me ideas of what to write, or help me reconstruct this headline. Understand? Help me edit and remove any kind of grammatical errors. But also when you're writing, because you want to write something deep, and you want to write from something also because technical writing works better when I write when I have a problem, find it hard to solve. Like Google, I can't find any kind of solution, then I write a solution. That can be I have some articles that still pays me every week on Medium just because I solved a problem that a lot of people I Google it and there is no solution for it. I solve it. And every day I'm still getting lots of research to that one article pays every month. So when you're writing articles, you want to write articles not for out there, but something that is unique. But as a beginner, you want to make AI like what you rely on. Because at the end of the day, it's now difficult for you to have your thinking, the original thought. So use it to spice it up, to give it full back, 50% AI, and then it's fun.
Yeah. Let me just add to that to say, and this is my opinion. You can quote me, but please quote it as my opinion. I think technical writing industry will be one of the ones that will be significantly disrupted, right? And when I say technical writing industry, there's actually an industry today where you join as technical writer 1, then you go to technical writer 2, then you become a senior technical writer, and then distinguished technical writer and all of that. There's an actual industry today. That industry, I think, will be disrupted significantly. The junior roles will disappear. You would be left with just the senior role. So if you are joining technical writing at a junior level today, I give you 10 years or less than that. I think that junior levels will disappear. What will remain, however, would be the senior levels where you are editing, you are signing off, you are making sure that everything is correct as it should be. That will remain because somebody has to be held responsible for the document, and it will not be an AI model. So that will remain, but the junior level roles will likely disappear. Why I say so is because some of the documentation we would have employed a technical writer to write. So you get software programmers to write code. They will write some descriptions for their functions, right? And then you would have something like, the tool escapes me, but you have tools that can generate documentation immediately from those, right? Then the technical writer is able to take that and then write it into human language, right? Now, the AI models is able to take that out now. So you don't need that human anymore to take the auto-generated documentation and start writing it in English in the way humans can read it. AI models solve that today. There's nothing new needed there. But however, somebody has to then edit it, make sure everything is correct, and so on. So editorial levels and all of that will remain, but the junior levels, I think, will disappear in the near future. Back to you, Jay.
Hello, please, can everyone hear me?
You went off for a while, but you're back now. We can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much for that answer. Okay, so Mr. Peter, I'd like to ask this question. What impact might AI have on job security in the tech sector, and how can tech professionals prepare for these changes?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of conversation around this. And the truth is that that's why I said AI is here. We should embrace it. Definitely, and it's going to have significant impacts of a lot of tech professionals. And we are feeling it already. I can tell you, LinkedIn just lay off hundreds of their employees. And the thing is that Google have been using AI in their company for a very long time. And that I'm saying that, there is what we call trade secret. A lot of organizations have tools they have in their arsenals that they don't want to let other people know for a very long time. So I'll give you an example. Web development, for instance, for a very long time, we have like Microsoft Word, we have all these things. All of these tools that you can use website here are like enterprise level tools. And a lot of organizations have had them in their company with not exposing it. And we're building desktop app. You understand? Because that was what was selling. That was what the enterprise were using at the time. But until someone break that jeans and took that technology out into the open, that is when it starts to scramble to get market share. Google have had AI capable of doing what ChatGPT is doing for a long time, but they are using that for internal advantage. Their software engineers have been using AI to write code for a long time. They've been using AI to do a lot of automations for a long time. So, but because it helped them to innovate internally, they don't want to expose it to other people so that they could not compete again. Then ChatGPT opened the canker worm, and everybody was like, wow, we can make it all money from this, and they decided campaign. How can we make this tool, not just our internal tool, to the other people? So the idea here is that you as a professional, we should continue to have this knowledge that helps us to get it done. And we should be perpetual learners, right? Just like somebody said, right? Like perpetual learning, like you are caused to learn that was why I've been able to like champion multiple over the last couple of years that I've been in tech, let's say 20 years now. Because a lot of jobs have died, a lot of ones have come, then continue. So you have to be, what's call it, like long. You have to continue to learn, to leverage technology. And also, the thing you see is that a lot of the senior software engineers or tech people that have been laid off, most of them get new job immediately. Or some of them just start their own startup. So, and why that's possible is because they know what you understand. It's because technology is empowering. So, and the advantage is that I said with all of these AI tools here, this is the best time to be an entrepreneur as a tech person. I'm telling you, like it's just the best time. Because right now, you don't need so much. Like just 2 co-founders or 3 co-founders, you guys can create whatever you can put your mind to. Because you have all of these tools and leverage them to be able to do things. You understand? So as a tech person, in no matter what industry tools you are using. So yeah, if you know your job security company are trying to shrink, you have no capability with AI, you also can have your company. And there will be other companies, other job roles that is willing to meet you. You also have to continue to learn. Continuous learning is very, very essential. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you so much for that, sir. All right, Peter. Peter hand is up. Peter, do you have any question you would like to ask? You can just unmute and speak. Hello, Peter. Can you hear me? Your hand is on
Yeah, I'm not sure
the chat.
if
Okay. Hello, Peter. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Bad, there's one more question for you before we can maybe get through to Peter. The question is, we know that AI is a simulation of human intelligence, and I like to ask, can AI be used to develop a deep understanding of customer behavior and preferences that could help drive products or service enhancements?
Definitely, and I think it's one of the simpler ways of using AI, because in that case, you already have data, and Mixpanel is a good example. Mixpanel has launched an AI model. Mixpanel is one of the industry leaders for analytics. So you've got Google Analytics, Mixpanel, and there are a few others and all. So it's one of those industry leaders where if you're launching a startup, you will likely have either Mixpanel or Google Analytics embedded into your technology, both your mobile app and your web app as well. So for Google Analytics, we all know that Google already has that tool launched. I think BAD is the name, right? So that already exists today. I can use that to query data. There used to be an industry, there still is an industry that was around big data and so on. That industry is also part of the one being democratized. Of course, you still need experts, as I've always said, but then for the middle level stuff that people would have done at a junior level, all of that now, you can simply query your data, Power Apps, Microsoft Power Apps, and so on. All of that exists today. But Mixpanel launched their own model where you can query data and it can tell you things about your customers. It can tell you things about your customer journey. It can tell you things about what you should improve in your solution, because many people are having issues in this part of your solution and so on. This is even almost like a basic use case of this new technology, this new tool that is now available free of charge to all of us today.
All right, thank you so much for that. So there's a question someone asked joining us live on YouTube, and the question is: you talked about prompt engineering, and person is asking, would there be specialization in prompt engineering?
In the future, I believe yes. But what you need to do as a basic level, if you're not working in the AI field, at the basic level is that at least understand how to do this prompting better than the average person, right? That's what I think you need to be if you are not in the data science AI field, right? If you are in the AI field, then there is a lot of specialization required. As you would know, multiple models exist. Some of them are open source, some of them are not. Facebook is trying to pay people to use their own open source tool at the moment called Llama, right? They are trying to pay developer. It's open source, so everything is out there on the web, right? So if you are in the field, you need to engage and drill down into the field. I think that people will start doing degrees in prompt engineering in the future. That's a specialization. But the same way, if you're learning English, right, you can have PhD in English, whereas everybody speaks English. It's the same thing where you should learn prompt engineering, but then if you need to specialize and you are in that field, then you can drill down to say, I want to now become an expert in prompt engineering in the future.
All right, thank you so much. And I hope, Jackson, that question has been answered. Okay, so Mr. Peter, there's also another question here that says, are there ethical considerations I should be aware of when implementing AI in my project? And how can I ensure ethical AI practices in my work?
Yeah, sure. I think this is a very brilliant question. And it's one of the things that we should really be concerned about, because sincerely, we all know what is going on. There's a lot of injustice, correctly. And because we are a lot of Africans here, so it could be a safe space for me. For a long time, we have not really represented what that is and what it should be. And especially, I will give you an example. I was in Berlin last week, and I was in my hotel. Let me just speak German, right? Let me just listen to the news, while I sleep. And they have the news, local news, and everything, and then they have international news, and they have news from US, Canada, I think from South America, the UK, and then they now said Africa. So when I said news from Africa, do you know what they show? Hippopotamus in the bush. I'm telling you, I was like, okay. So we all have asked this question all the time. You travel abroad and your Igbo friend telling you, do you people live on trees? Do you live with lions? Do you sit on the back of it? Because, and the reason why these things happen is because of the information they are fed. How will you show a news from a continent of 52 countries, diverse languages, a lot of technology things going on, and the only news you can show them for a snip of 30 seconds is hippopotamus in the bush. So I don't know what they said about the hippopotamus, but it was really annoying. But this is what is happening. You understand? And all of these things also going into AI, because AI is feeding from all of the data we put online. So how is our country being represented? Like, are we, like, a lot of the news about Africa, about Nigeria, they are not a direct representation of what we experience every day. And then when you are here and then you heard all of these questions, you'll be like, what have you guys been listening to? You understand? So because of that, I think ethical thing is very, very important, because if we take all of these bias, all of this injustice that humans fed themselves, and then we put them into AI without people checking them, then we are going to have the same problem. And then AI are going to evolve and have prejudice towards people that have been misrepresented. So that is the reason why I want a lot of us to be part of this AI thing. We need to put positivity. We need to put our own story. We need to write. We need to have more software engineers from Africa, from all over the continent, to be working in amazing companies. Like, we want to have a lot of software engineers, and that's why I like what the organization, the Bincom, are doing, because we need more engineers, we need more representatives. Like in my old company, we're just like 2 Black people in the company, and I know some of my friends are just like only 1 person. You have like 1,000 engineers, you have just 1 Black guy. You understand? we are in the room of office function. This is the only one looking at yourself, and everything. So we still need a lot of representation. You understand? And we need a lot of software engineers. We need a lot of tech guys. And these tools are there. So the Llama tools like from Facebook are open source. There is this guy also that created a JavaScript versions of a TensorFlow and Scikit-learn. I think Danko.js. The guy is in Nigerian. So those kind of technology are very, very important. We should use them. Because the information we put out there is what is going to represent us. So if other people are telling our stories, that will be prejudice. So there are a lot of organizations who are looking at ethical AI. So we also should be responsible also. So when we create this AI stuff, we should feed AI because, computer is just 1 and 0 anyway. It's what we garbage in, garbage out. There is nothing new. Whatever we feed AI is what it's going to learn. If I tell AI that these people are bad, AI will know that they are bad, and then it's going to treat them as such. So we need to do our own stuff. We need to be part of the conversation. You understand? And that's the best way we could go about it. Yeah. Joy, you are muted.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, so Mr. Blade, there's one more question here and it says, how can I use AI in creative fields like content generation, arts, music, or design? And what are the prospects for AI augmented creativity in the future? Because if you look closely, AI generated content follow a pattern. They all look similar. So how can they be used? That's the question.
Yeah, so I think you have your answer in the question, but let me help point it out. Because what you have pointed out is a problem, but it is a solvable problem. What you've said is that AI generates content in a pattern. Let's use text, for example. AI will generate text that is well structured and all, and many people don't speak English that way. But the thing is that people have now built other solutions to say, bring that content from ChatGPT into this AI detection, and they will rewrite it for you in a way that you can never detect that it was written via AI in the first place. There are quite a number of tools. Copy leaks is one of them, but there are many tools that are specialized in doing this today, right? I spoke about prompt engineering before, and that could also help because the way you prompted it may determine the way to generate data. And because most people are still using AI models at a basic level, they will get basic results out. But then as you go drill much more into how to prompt, some people have seen a one-page prompt for an AI model before where they wrote and they describe exactly what it is. Oh, let me surprise you. I saw somebody do something, ask GPT to give me the prompts. Then they now move that prompt into DOE as part of what they've done. So what I'm saying is that the solution is this. Yes, you identify the problem, but that problem is currently being solved and you can be part of the solution. And if you solve that problem, you can make a lot of money from it because yes, it's an issue, but it's a solvable issue that is solvable with technology as well. I don't know if I answered your question, but hopefully you see what I'm saying. And Peter, I don't know if you want to add to that question.
Yeah, I think you said it all actually. It all comes to how you prompt, and because a lot of us just do things in basic level really. So, and the idea is that you should always provide context. Like for instance, if for me, one of the things I do when I want to start using ChatGPT is first I want ChatGPT to condition as who I want ChatGPT to be at that time. So in the beginning of my prompt, I can say, can you work with me as a physics teacher? Can you work with me as a physics teacher for grade 5? Or that is a specific grade. And a physics teacher at grade 5 will always be different from a physics teacher at maybe grade 10 or something like that. So providing content for AI to work with will give you better, more tailored results than you will get like general purpose result, like you just asking like AI generates to me this thing, or help me write a letter for this thing, or help me write a presentation for this. But when you are more, that's the reason why I said that this have been the and you being a professional in your field. Like for instance, you are not a software, not like an editor. There is a way I will work with ChatGPT that because I'm not a professional, but a professional editor that wants to use ChatGPT to enhance his work, know what in mind, then he can create those prompts in a way that will be more tailored and be able to give better results. So, for that person. So what I would say is that learn prompt engineering. There's a lot of courses that give you the context. So now to number one, you have to set your back what the problem is. You have to set your context and also give examples. That's another thing. It's really amazing results using. Joy, can you?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that, sir. That was a very good one. My network kicked me out briefly. But from the audience, do you have any more questions? Please, can you send them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask your question? Okay, Peter, please, you can speak now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, my question is that, okay, with the way AI is improving and advancing every day, sometimes I feel probably in the nearest future, we have issues with these machines. Because as it is now, there are machines or models that are developed, and then they have the ability to express anger, sadness, and all that. Like they have the ability to show emotions and all that. So I feel maybe in the nearest future, with the consistent improvement and advancement in AI, I feel maybe we have issues with these models. So I don't know if maybe there are legislation that are put in place in order to control the advancement in AI. In data.
Okay, let me go first and then I guess Peter will add to it. So every country of the world, including my country, Nigeria, is currently building their AI policy. Some countries already have something. Some countries don't yet have something, right? So they are building policies, and depending on the culture of the country, will determine how much levity or not it will give. Why I smiled when you asked your question is because sometimes when we try to control things, what we do is we impede creativity, and that may be a challenge, right? So different countries are trying to figure out what is the balance. Because on one side, AI is biased because depending on what it is fed, we determine what it churns out. AI is being trained on people's copyrighted data because you just pick a book online that you read, and then AI has now ingested that book, and so that book belongs to someone. The copyright belongs to someone. How does the law work for things like that? Patents as well. Your patents are publicly available, and AI models are training on those publicly available data. But then that patent is a patent for a reason because it's your own intellectual property. But now AI models are using that in itself. So that's on the negative. But then on the positive, this is something that can make your work faster, that can make your work better, and so on. And so many countries of the world are trying to figure out balances. Many companies as well, as Peter mentioned, are also trying to figure out what is the right balance in that. It's not an answered question, but it's a question that we would need to answer as a generation, right? So no, as human beings, as people, we will need to answer the question. It's similar to how we had to answer the question about the internet. And the question that comes to mind is that when you post, if a criminal posted a criminal thought on Facebook, whose fault is it? Is it the criminal's fault or Facebook's fault? There were laws that were trying to be passed to say it would be Facebook's fault, but then eventually I think the world has now decided that no, the criminal owns his content, that kind of thing. So it took a while to get there because there was a point where it was going to be almost impossible to continue posting in Twitter, right? but then there has to be checks and balances. Sorry, I've rambled, but the answer to the question is that different countries are trying to figure it out. That's what I think. Back to you, Peter.
Don't want to be like the messenger of bad news, actually. But what I'm going to say is that human beings are going to evolve, and we are getting to that level of moving beyond our body and getting integrated into machine. And I know there are a lot of theories about this. Some people believe it's going to happen. I think wait, but what I've seen and the trend and stuff like that is going to happen. And why is it going to happen? Is because, human beings always want to be in charge. There are people that want to be in charge of other people. For you to be able to, I thought it's used by organizations and governments for a very long time before someone bring it out and everybody tries scrambling about it. It's not because it caught Google by surprise. No. Internet has been used for a long time by the US military. It was even built by their research organization, APA, you understand, before they now make it a business and the US making a lot of money from the internet. They still control the internet till today. So because of that power to continue to evolve, so everything that you see that all of us can use right now, we call democratize, is what is no longer needed. You understand? Like, it's what have done its job. So that's why, for instance, we talk about internet. The physical internet that we know is like 10% of the internet. The dark web is like 90% of the internet, because a lot of the information, software, open source, things that happen on the surface, all of them have been used a lot on the dark web before we even know about them. You understand? So because of that, I believe innovations and technology are going to transform beyond what we have right now. And look at what Boston Dynamics are doing. A lot of US research, drones that can be in your sky and you will never see it, and can shoot anyone from that. So there is a lot of good and dangerous things that are happening with AI right now, just because people want to be in control. Humans want to be in control. So because of that, I think, there will be legislations that will control other people not to do as much. And there will be some people that will say that we have the ability to control this power. But at the end of the day, those people that have the ability to control that power will lose it, and then it will become public again. You understand? And that's how human technology being. But what I want us to do is that we, as a nation, Nigeria, country, Africa, we should be part of this conversation. We should be part of the technology. We cannot fold our hands, just like we said, internet is going to destroy the world, and we are back. And look at where we are right now. We're trying to play catch up with internet. You understand? So we should not see AI as something that it's a bad thing, it's going to kill us all. No, we have to be involved in it. We have to be involved in the decision making on the legislation into all of those things that are going to happen. When UN are talking about it, we have to be represented there to be able to make that decision. Because if we are not there, that decision is going to make our future. And AI is going to transcend beyond human beings, and it's going to affect all of us if we are not part of it.
Oh wow, that was really a good one from both of you. Thank you so much for that. And Peter, I hope that has really answered your question. Does anyone have any question again, so we can wrap up this session? Any last question? Okay, so for me, I think I have just one more last question. And the question, even though it's quite related to what Peter asked, and my question is this: in the long run, say in the next 50 years to come, and I know AI has come and might not go anytime soon, it will keep evolving for as much as we can imagine. How do I put it? Would there still be a form of human intelligence to things, in the sense that would humans still be able to use their brain? I mean, previously you could sit down, get motivated, or get insight on how you can compose a good song, and everyone likes it. will we still be able to boost our own inner creativity in the long run? Sorry, you're muted.
Okay, yeah, let me go first and then we can add to it to this. Because one, for me, let's think about it. What is human creativity? What is creativity in itself? So over the years, we look at our education. One of the things that have been instructed forever, and we don't do yet, is education, how we teach. Because let's say I was still like a millennial, right? But during our period, there's still a lot of memorization. That's how you become a distinction student. You read all the modern biology and all of this about you and all of them. You cram what you can cram, and then you don't want anybody to touch you until you go to the exam hall, and then you put everything down. You understand? That's why you can get all these things correct, you're fine. Even though you cannot even recollect after your exam. Like someone even asked on internet, who remember their further maths calculus in school and stuff like that. You understand? We don't. So that is the concept. Human intelligence is not by memorization. Human intelligence, the real is application of knowledge. Look at everyone that become a billionaire in US today. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all of them. Are they like a rogue memorizer? No. All of them are that technology. Zuckerberg take PhD and build and MySQL 1.5, what MySQL at the time, and build Facebook. The owner of MySQL is not even as rich as Zuckerberg today. Like the guy that built MySQL, even the guy that built PHP is not as rich as Zuckerberg. But someone took that and then they applied it to solve human. So I think that is where we should be thinking more right now. There is this TED talk, we can all check it out. He said the title is "Does Education Kill Creativity?" And that's the truth. Education, as we have it today, kills creativity. A lot of people are like, ChatGPT will not allow our students to think. Like, what do you want them to think? What exactly? So if they can take knowledge, problem solving, and they can apply that knowledge in a new way. In Nigeria, we've had this idea of rogue memorization a lot. How many innovative solutions have we created with the rogue memorization? It doesn't help anyone. We need to shift away from rogue memorizations and the way we think about education to innovations and creativity. And that is what writing poems, all of these things have. People that write poems are not rogue memorization. If you look at what is this UK that do Romeo and Juliet, that wrote Romeo and Juliet. The guy writings go against every grammatical function there is. Shakespeare, his writing is not in correlation with any English. It was totally like a lot of jargons. But Shakespeare have formulated a lot of words today that they have introduced and injected into the English language. So those are people that create things. So if we are going to align ourselves into the dogma and the rules, there is no room for innovation. Shakespeare invented words. So if he has written that in an exam, most of his poem will have been failure. All of his play will have been failure because he doesn't even follow grammatical terms. You understand? So the idea is that creativity and knowledge and assimilating knowledge is totally different. So I believe AI will move human beings from the era of rogue memorization to taking knowledge and then applying that knowledge to be able to create innovation.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I will just add to what Peter said, and I'm going to be a bit, and this is yet again another opinion, right? So, sorry, the one part is not an opinion. Let me say that part. AI is still very stupid today. We are very far from the singularity. We're very far from the idea that AI can replace human intelligence. Very, very far from it. So that's the part that is not an opinion. It's a matter of fact. Now, this is the part that is an opinion. the way we educate people will have to change as human beings. I mean, as a generation now, because the way we educate human beings today is a baby is born, and then by the time they are 4, they are supposed to learn some things. By the time they are 10, they are supposed to have learned some things. And all of those things are regimented in terms of curriculum and all of that, because that's the way we needed things to be. But the truth is that that education standard was created because of the Industrial Revolution, because we needed to create people that could work in factories, that can do 1 + 1 is equal to 2, then go back again, 1 + 1 is equal to 2, then go back again, 1 + 1 is equal to 2. With the whole advent of the fourth industrial revolution, now mixed with machine learning and AI and all of that, a lot of that is going away across multiple industries. If you need somebody that can dig the ground and plant a seed, a machine can do that today. If you need somebody that can type and say 1 + 1 is equal to 2, a machine can do that today. And so the truth is that the way we educate human beings, babies, children, adults, teenagers, and all of that will need to change over a period of time. Now, why I'm saying this is because you may be the one that has that idea of, okay, this is how things should be now. Don't get me wrong. In the US, there are different people experimenting with models. Montessori is the one that is most popular, but there are several different models. There's an old school in the US. There's one that is done by Elon Musk. Just check for what the school Elon Musk children go to, right? And there was a problem on YouTube. Let me confess, there was a problem on YouTube. They brought out a bunch of problems that they want children that are like 10 to solve, right? And the problem was so complex that I'm like, a 10-year-old, and I was watching videos of 10-year-olds giving their perspective. These are problems that don't have a one solution. It's really more about opinion. I can't remember the name, but if you Google it, you'll find it. And then a 10-year-old was talking about different perspective and all of that. Man, when I was 20, I could not have talked like that 10-year-old.
Marshmallow tower stuff.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Right. So the way we educate people will change over time. But just bear in mind that what AI is today is really just a tool to augment you. It doesn't replace anything because it's very stupid at the end of the day. It's garbage in, garbage out today. You're mute, Joy.
All right, thank you so much for that, sir. Someone raised his hand earlier. I don't know if he has asked this question. Hello, Marvel. You wanted asking a question?
No, I just wanted to kind of like from what he's been explaining, like maybe give a short answer to your question initially, but he had already answered it.
You can still share your opinion, Marvel. We would like to hear it. Please share your opinion.
Okay, let me get your question again so I can arrange my thoughts once more.
Okay, so I was asking, with the way things are with AI, would humans still have would humans still be intelligent enough to do things without having to use AI? I mean, everyone wants to use AI. Will we still have that inbuilt creativity? That was my question.
All right, okay. Yeah, what I wanted to answer is AI is created by humans, and we using them actually making them even better. So our creativity will still be very much encouraged. Will still be very much encouraged in the AI field, because we are the ones who created the AI. So the AI really depends on us, on our human intelligence, to make them also smart.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I mean, that has really, really answered my question, and the contributions from both speakers really did justice to it. I don't know if anyone has any more questions. We've already spent about 9 minutes already, so we need to wrap up this session. I am really excited about this session. We've really gathered a lot of knowledge insights, and we've also had experiences on this topic that, I mean, is so close to our hearts, and it's like a very integral part of our professional growth. So I want us to keep staying ahead and keep striving as much as we can in our respective field. AI is not just a buzzword, as we know, it is reshaping our world. It is reshaping our future. So it's not just about the machines and the codes we write. It's more about the possibility, the opportunities, and the future at large. So I want us to seize this opportunity to explore as much as we can, see how we can leverage on it, see how we can use AI to boost our career to 10x what we do at the moment. So it is not restricted to you being a software developer or a data scientist or an engineer or anything. It revolves in every sector and every tech industry. You can always be a part of it. So thank you so much for joining us. I am really thrilled to anchor this session, and I'm excited that every one of us has really been a part of this session. So do have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.